Heat 1. Swimming in lane 3 from Harvard, Kristen Hakarodottir. In lane 4 from Pitt, Maya Genzel. And lane 5, Maya's teammate Jill Berger. As you can see, Jill Berger of Pitt wearing her invisibility cloak for this prelim heat. Swimmers in Heat 2, be aware we're going to take a very short pause after this heat. Heat 2. In lane 1 is Morgan Thomas of Minnesota. Lane 2, Natalie Whalen, Harvard. Lane 3, Kate Bailey of Pittsburgh. Lane 4, Blythe Wyclevik, Harvard. Lane 6, Grace Anderson of Arizona. And lane 6, Brigitte Neverman of Minnesota. Lane 7, Ro Didevois of Harvard. And we got a little outside smoke here. Morgan Thomas, who came in without a seed time, is going to rock a 53.14. That's seed time. That no seed time went away in a hurry. And now Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1, Avery McFadden of Pitt. Lane 2, her teammate Olivia Yu. In lane 3, Alexa Puccini of Arizona. In lane 4, number 3 seed is Lizzie Cook of Cal. Lane 5, McKenna Stone, California. Lane 6, Julia Urbanowski of Arizona. In lane 7, the aforementioned birthday celebrant, Isabella Alas of Harvard. Our birthday gift to Isabella is pronouncing her name correctly for the first time in the meet. And lane 8, Addie Rose Bullock of Harvard. And a pair of 52s for Lizzie and McKenna. 55.14 for Isabella, keeping our tradition alive of setting a best time on your birthday. Heat 4. In lane 1, Mina Kaljevic of Minnesota. Lane 2, Ava Yablonsky, Minnesota. Lane 3, Maddie Burke of Arizona. In lane 4 is Sophie Endel of Pitt. Lane 5, Emma Kinsey, Arizona. Lane 6, Sydney Liu of Harvard. In lane 7, Claire Reinke of Minnesota. And lane 8, also for the Golden Gophers, Faith Johnson. And a 52-7 for Sophie. Second goes to Sydney Liu. Heat 5. In lane 1, Abigail Carr of Harvard. Lane 2, Morgan Brophy, California. Lane 3, Sydney Gring of Pittsburgh. Lane 4 is our top seed and 17th ranked Arizona senior Julia Hempstead. In lane 5, Avery Kudlick of Pittsburgh. In lane 6, from Arizona is Miriam, and say it with me everybody, Shea Halazadekanda. Lane 7, Ava Chavez of California. Lane 8, Rachel Klinker, Cal. And Julia punches her ticket to the A final with a 52.07. Our next event is the men's 100-yard butter style. Heat 1. In lane 3 is Matt McDonald of Minnesota. Lane 4, Orion Henderson of Arizona. And lane 5, Omar Abdelbahab of Minnesota. And a 46.79 for Henderson. In lane 2 is Michael McGillivray of Cal. Lane 3, Michael Ryan of Pittsburgh. Lane 4, Tommy Roeder of Cal. Lane 5, Josh Smith, Pittsburgh. Lane 6, his teammate Paul Lero. And one more, Pitts Panther. In lane 7, Eric Camden. And Tommy Roeder, 48-31. Nice 2.5 second drop for Tommy. Heat 3. In lane 1, Connor Groya of Minnesota. Lane 2, David Schmidt of Harvard. Lane 3, Hayden Gouffran, Arizona. In lane 5, Jaden Neighbor, Arizona. And lane 7, Bryce Henshaw, Ball State. Jordan Neighbor getting after it, 21-36 at the 50. And a 45-97 for Jordan. And that ties him for 20th in the NCAA rankings this year. A nice swim. Heat 4. In lane 1, Jack Donovan from Arizona. Lane 2, Drew Jalbert, Pitt. Lane 3, his Pitt teammate Adam Mahler. Lane 4, Sonny Wang of Harvard. Lane 5, Tommy Palmer of Arizona. Lane 6, he was 10th at the NCAAs last year in this event, Dare Rose of Cal. Lane 7, from Minnesota, Tommy McCarthy. And in lane 8, Tavis Siebert of Cal. And Dare Rose is going to have a nice one here as he cruises to a 45-6. 45-6, the 14th fastest time in the NCAA so far this year. And now Heat 5. Swimming in lane 1, Ian Steffen of Minnesota. In lane 2, Seth Miller, Arizona. Lane 3, Felipe Bafico of Harvard. In lane 4, top seed and currently ranked 27th in the country, Davide Maria Harabagiu. Lane 5 from Minnesota, Kaiser Neverman. Lane 6, Roman Jones of Cal. Lane 7, Samuel Quarles of Cal. And lane 8, William Tennyson of Arizona. And Harabajiu out in the 21-4. And Roman Jones at 46-2. Harabajiu at 46-4. Here are the qualifiers for the women's 100-yard butterfly. Second alternate, Olivia Yu. First alternate is Faith Johnson. Qualifying into the C final in 24th, Grace Anderson. In 23rd, Isabella Alas. 22nd, Blythe Wicklewick. In 21st, Miriam Shikhalazadagada. In the 20th, Addie Rose Bullock. 19th, Abigail Carr. 18, Alexa Puccini. And 17th, Avery Kudlek. Qualifying into the B final in 16th, Julia Urbanowski. 15, Maddie Burt. 14, Ava Yablonsky. 13, Mina Kalyavek. 12th, Claire Reinke. 11, Emma Kinsey. 10, Sydney Gring. And 9th, Morgan Thomas. Qualifying into the A final tonight in 8th, Sydney Liu. 7, Rachel Klinker. 5th, tied for 5th, Morgan Brophy and Sophie Yendel. Qualifying 4th, Ava Chavez. 3rd, McKenna Stone. 2nd, Lizzie Cook. And our top qualifier with a time of 52:07 from Arizona, Julia Heimstad. Official meet time is 10:17. This event will close at 10:47. Ready now for the women's 400-yard individual medley. Heat 1. Swimming in lane 1 for Harvard is Grace Yoon. In lane 2 is her teammate Kate Haslett. Lane 3 for Minnesota, Grace Drabot. Lane 4 is Tia Lindsay of Arizona. In lane 5, another Wildcat, Daisy Anderson. And in lane 6 from Cal, Ashlyn Fiorilli. Lane 7 from Harvard is Stephanie Inakani. Halfway through, and Tia Lindsay with a slight lead. Here now the qualifiers for the men's 100-yard butterfly. Second alternate, Eric Camden. First alternate, Omar Abdelwahab. Qualifying into the C final tonight. I'm sorry. Second alternate is Michael Ryan. First alternate, William Tennyson. And qualifying into the C final in 24th, Michael McGillivray. 23rd, Connor Groya. 22nd, Felipe Bafico. 21st, Tommy McCarthy. 20th, Tavis Siebert. 19, Ian Steffen. 18, Adam Mahler. And 17, Tommy Roeder. Into the B final. In 16th, Jack Donovan. 15, Drew Jalbert. 14, Bryce Henshaw. 13, Matt McDonald. 12, Samuel Quarles. 11th, Seth Miller, and tied for 9th, Sonny Wang and David Schmidt. Qualifying into the A final. In 8th, Hayden Gouffran. 7, Tommy Palmer. 6th, Orion Henderson. 5th, Kaiser Neverman. 4th, Davide Maria Harabagiu. 3rd, Roman Jones. 2nd, Jordan Neighbor. And our top qualifier with a time of 45:60 from California, Dare Rose. Official time is 10:22. This event will close at 10:52. And while we were away, Grace Drabot of Minnesota has taken charge of this one. And she will drop a whole bunch of time, a 16-second drop for Grace, and a 4:15.58. E2. Swimming in lane 1 for Harvard, Alexandra Desicinco. In lane 3 for Cal, Catherine Hazel. In lane 4 from Minnesota, she was 6th at the NCAA championship last year. And the reigning Big Ten champion, Megan Van Berkom. In lane 5, also from Minnesota, Katie McCarthy. Lane 6 from Minnesota, Elliott Kennedy. And lane 7 from Harvard, Alexandra Bastone. Meg was second to Mia Markaitis of Cal on the 500 yesterday. Katie McCarthy also A-finaled in the 500, as did Elliott Kennedy. And Megan, 159.85. Interestingly, she is only 0.6 of a second slower than she was at the NCAA championships last year when she went 4:04. I'm sorry, 4:05. Catherine Hazel of Cal mounting a little bit of a challenge here in the breaststroke. And Megan going to be right around 4:10, depending on how hard she pushes this. She did bring up the legs here on this last 25. And there's a 4:09.2. And that is the 13th fastest time in the country so far. Nice swim for Megan Van Berkom. Second goes to Catherine Hazel. And that time slots in about into the top 15. Next up is the men's 400-yard individual medley. He won. In lane 3 for Arizona is Brian Wong. In lane 4 from Minnesota, Jack Ballard. And lane 5 from Cal, Sean Swift. .52.75 at the 100 split for Brian Wong's butterfly. Here are the qualifiers into the women's 400 IM finals tonight. Into the B final, Grace Yoon in 13th. Qualifying 12th, Elliott Kennedy. 11th, Kate Haslett. 10th, Alexandra Denisenko. Qualifying 9th, Daisy Anderson. Qualifying into the championship final, the A final tonight. In 8th, Ashlyn Fiorilli. 7th, Stephanie Iancani. 6th, Katie McCarthy. 5th, Alexandra Bastone. 4th, Tia Lindsay. 3rd, Grace Drabot. 2nd, Catherine Hazel. And our top qualifier with a time of 4:09.20 from Minnesota, Megan Van Berkom. Official meet time is 10:31. And this event goes to sleep at 11:01. In lane 5, Sean has swiftly taken control. And there's a 3:56.81. Nice 16-second drop for Sean. Heat 2. That's Michael Piela of Pitt, who will be charged for the damage done to lane 4 block. Swimming in lane 1 from Arizona, Jake Hand. Lane 2 from Pitt, Drew Henry. In lane 3 from Pitt, Javier Sorzano Jover. In lane 4, the man with the big legs from Pittsburgh, Michael Piela. Lane 6 from Cal, Tyler Kopp. And in lane 7, also from Cal, Humberto Najera. Over in lane 7, Humberto has got a very good one going here. And Humberto making it stand up. Most exciting breaststroke, though, in the pool right now is Jake Hand from Arizona, who split a 31.7. And into the freestyle our top three, Nayera, lane 7, Kopp in lane 6, and Hand in lane 1. And Nayera and Kopp cruise to a pair of 350s as they will punch their ticket to the A final tonight. Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 for Arizona, Beck Parnham. Lane 2 for Minnesota, Ryan Slonak. In 3 from Harvard, Felipe Bafico. In lane 4 from Pittsburgh, he was 4th in the 200 IM, Max Mateazzi. In lane 5 from Minnesota, he was 5th in the 500 yesterday, William Christensen. Lane 6, Harvard senior Cole Custer. Lane 7, Minnesota senior Cameron Linder. And in lane 8, from Minnesota, Luke Leonidas. And separating themselves here after 200 yards, Max Mateazzi of Pitt and William Christensen of Minnesota. A little bit of outside smoke over in lane 1 as Beck Parnham had a good first half. And Mateazu with a 3-second lead over Parnham and Christensen. And the field is tightening up, but all three of these men will make their way into the A final tonight. A 350 for Mateazi, 350 and a half for Christensen, and 0.6 for Parnham. Our next event is the women's 200-yard freestyle. We have 5 heats. And it looks like we'll be taking a very short break here. While we have this very short break, I'd like to wish a very happy anniversary +1 to Title IX, the legislation, of course, that mandated gender equality in a whole bunch of things. But a reminder that swimming as a sport had equal opportunities for girls and women well before the government got around to making it law. As you recall, back in the 1950s in age group swimming, in AAU swimming, if there was a men's 200 freestyle, there was a women's 200 freestyle. If there was a boys 8 and under 50 back, there was a girls 8 and under 50 back. The sport of swimming had gender equality way ahead of the rest of the world. And for that, we celebrate the sport of swimming. As you can see, we are performing surgery, emergency surgery, on lane 4 starting block. And the surgery was successful. And we return now to the women's 200-yard freestyle. Heat 1. Swimming in lane 3 from Pittsburgh, Jill Berger. Lane 4 is her teammate Tessa Mock. Lane 5, Fiona O'Connor, Minnesota. Lane 6, Olivia Yu of Pitt. And Jill, 152.1. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 1 for Arizona, Alyssa Schwengel. Lane 2, Harvard's Robin Cruz Adams. Lane 3 for Pittsburgh, Kate Bailey. In lane 4 for Arizona, Ava Setvin. Lane 5 for Minnesota, Elle Niebuhr. Lane 6 for Pittsburgh, Aphrodite Agathokalius. In lane 7 for Harvard, Piper Wood Prince. And a pair of no seed time surprises. Lane 7, Piper Wood Prince of Harvard. In lane 1, Alyssa Schwengel of Arizona. Came in with no seed time and taking care of that. And Piper 150.26. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 1, Alyssa Schwengel of Arizona. Let's go to heat 3. In lane 1 is Kristen Hakanadaughter, Harvard. Lane 2, Emily Baccaro, Pitt. Lane 3, Emily Gentris, Cal. Lane 4, Eloise Riley of Cal. And lane 5, our 500 champion, Mia Modikaitis of California. Lane 6, Molly Hamlin, Harvard. Lane 7, Hope Fellner, Arizona. And lane 8, Abby Licht of Pittsburgh. Here are the qualifiers for the men's 500. Our alternate is Jack Ballard of Minnesota. Qualifying into the B final in 16th, Cameron Linder. 15th, Luke Leonidas. 14, Brian Wong. 13, Drew Henry. 12, Cole Custer. 11, Felipe Bafico. 10, Ryan Slonak. And 9, Sean Swift. Qualifying into the A final. In 8th, Javier Susana Hover. 7th, Jake Hand. 6th, Michael Piela. 5th, Tyler Kopp. 4th, Beck Parnham. 3rd, William Christensen. 2nd, Max Matiaze. And our top qualifier with a time of 3:49.94 from Cal, Humberto Nayera. Official meet time is 10:56. And this event will close at 11:26. And Mia clocks in at 1:45.20. That will be the new top time on the board. Heat 4. in this, the second of our circle seeded heats. In lane 1, Jade Rocker of Minnesota. Lane 3, Julia Wozniak, Arizona. Lane 4, Ava Chavez, California. Lane 5, Rachel Klinker, California. Lane 6, Tara Sillebrook of Pitt. Lane 7, Ella Mazurek of Cal. And with a 50 to go, Ava Chavez with a slight lead. On her way to a very comfortable 146 high, maybe 47 low, depending on how hard she wants to go. Teammate Rachel Klinker right there. And Ava 146.6, Rachel 47.1. And now heat 5. Swimming in lane 1 for Minnesota, Anya Kaljevik. In lane 4 for Arizona, Julia Heimstad. In lane 5, her teammate Amelia Mortensen. Lane 6 for Arizona, Elizabeth Timmer. In lane 7 for Harvard, Alexandra Baston. And in lane 8 for Minnesota, Katya Sudakova. Julia turns first. Turning second in lane 1, Anya Kalievik. Anya's best 200 freestyle coming into the meet was a high 152. She split a 146.2 on the end of the Gopher 800 free relay yesterday. Anya on her way to a 147. And Julia 147 and a half. Pair of 148s for Amelie and Alexandra. Anya 149.2. 1-2 rather. And on to the men's 200 freestyle, he won. And swimming in time trial mode here in lane 5 is Cal's national class swimmer Gabriel Jett. .44.7 on the way out. The B cut a 135.79. And looking at a 134.20. And that will get back likely into the A final based on seed times. Now heat 2. Another heat of swimmers with no seed time, so we may see some surprises here. In lane 1 for Minnesota, Chris Naj. In lane 4 for Cal, Michael McGillivray. Lane 5 for California, Keaton Jones. And in lane 7 for Pittsburgh, Wesley Kephart. Coaches, we're going to close requests for time trial at the end of the 200 freestyle. So if you want to swim time trials, get them in now. Keaton with a 136.1. Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 for California, Nicholas Antonio. Lane 2 for Pittsburgh, Alex Kraft. In lane 4 for Ball State, Malcolm Slater. In lane 5 for Minnesota, Jackson Brown. In lane 8 for California, Andrew Hallett. Turning first is Nicholas. Followed by Malcolm and Jackson doing a little synchro in the middle of the pool. And Malcolm, 139.7. Second, Jackson Brown, 140.7. Heat 4. In lane 1 for California, Dylan Hawk. In lane 2 for Minnesota, Grant Wadney. In lane 4 for Arizona, Orion Henderson. Lane 5 for Minnesota, Gopher School record holder Bar Solovajczyk. In lane 6 for Cal, Aaron Shackle. Lane 7 for Harvard, Anders Eisters. And in lane 8 for Harvard, Tristan Dalby. This is the first of our circle seeded heats. Orion Henderson of Arizona. A nice one, 135.13. Second goes to Bar Solovajczyk, 136.3. Now heat 5. In lane 1 for Cal, Trent Franzen. Lane 2 is teammate Jack Alexi. In lane 3, Marcus Holmquist of Harvard. Lane 4, Robin Hansen, California. Lane 5, Guy Frimis of Pittsburgh. In lane 6, Ben Littlejohn of Harvard. In lane 7, his teammate Pierce Deese. And in lane 8 for Cal, Jack Meehan. A reminder that after the next heat, request for time trials will close. And in this heat, it's a duel between Jack Alexi in lane 2, Robin Henson in lane 4, Cal teammates. Trent Franson and Ben Littlejohn dueling. And a pair of 130, high 133s. Top times so far. Heat 6. Swimming in lane 2 for Minnesota, Tyler Hansen. In lane 3 for Arizona, Miles Buttai. In lane 5 for Harvard, Harris Durham. 6 for Harvard, David Greeley. In lane 7 for Pittsburgh, Dominic Toledo Sanchez. And in lane 8 for Harvard, Shane Washert. Nice race here between Miles of Arizona and David of Harvard. And a good reach there by David Greeley at 136.2. Here are the qualifiers for the women's 200-yard freestyle. Second alternate is Kate Bailey. First alternate, Katya Sudakova. Qualifying into the C final in 24th, Elle Niebuhr. 23rd, Abby Licht. 22nd, Ava Sitfin. Qualifying 21st, Olivia Yu. 20th, Hope Fellner. 19th, Jill Berger. 18th, Julia Wozniak. And 17th, Kara Kulibrich. Qualifying into the B final in 16th, Elizabeth Timmer. 15, Molly Hamlin. 14, Alyssa Schwengel. 13, Jade Rogier. 12, Emily Buccaro. In 11th, Piper Wood Prince. 10, Ella Mazurek. And 9th, Anya Kalievic. Qualifying into the A final. In 8th, Emily Mortensen. 7th, Alexandra Bastone. 6th, Emily Gantris. 5th, Julia Heimstad. 4, Rachel Klinker. 3rd, Ava Chavez. 2nd, Eloise Riley. And our top qualifier with a time of 1:45.20 from California, Mia Motakaitis. Official meet time is 11:18. And this event will close at 11:48. Ready now for the women's 100-yard backstroke. Heat 1. And a quick correction, this is not backstroke, it's breaststroke. Announcer man clearly needs more coffee. Swimming in lane 1 for Cal, Abigail Herskew. Lane 2 for Minnesota, Ava Gustafson. In lane 3 for Arizona, Caroline Kramer. Lane 4, Arizona, Eleni Gewalt. In lane 5 for Cal, Alicia Henry. In lane 6 for Pittsburgh, Angelina Messina. In lane 7 for Harvard, Alexandra Denisenko. And in lane 8 for Arizona, Emma Kinsey. And Alicia Henry. A nice drop. The times on the board are not official. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 1 for Ball State, Julia Hoffman. Lane 2 for Harvard, Victoria Eisenhower. In lane 3 for Ball State's Laura Wright. In lane 4 for Arizona, Kelsey Wasikowski. Lane 5 for Cal, Hannah Brunzel. In lane 6 for Pitt, Jayla Pina. Lane 7 for Arizona, Nadja Barawi. And in lane 8 for Minnesota, Summer Schmidt. Hannah Brunzel leading on the way home. And Hannah 60.25. We're going to keep an eye on the time here for Summer Schmidt in lane 8. She's the American record holder in para class S9, member of the Paralympic team, a 1:15.71, and that is a new American record. Congratulations, Summer. The 100-yard breaststroke American record in Class S9 for our member of the Paralympic team. Congratulations. Now Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 for Minnesota, Hannah Cornish. In lane 2 for Harvard, Stephanie Anakani. Lane 3 for Pittsburgh, Jesse Strong. In lane 4 for Cal, Jade Nesser. In lane 5 for Arizona, Maddie Alawalia. Lane 6 for Pitt, Maddie London. In lane 7 for Minnesota, Ava Goodnow. And in lane 8 for Cal, Sydney Griscavage. Jade in 4, Maddie in 5. And Jade 60.10, setting up a very tight middle of the pool for the A final tonight. Next up, the men's 100-yard breaststroke. He won. Swimming in lane 3, Forrest Frazier of Cal. In lane 4 is his teammate Liam Bell. And lane 5 from Pitt, Eric Sharabuda. No seed times for this heat, so we can expect some fast times for a first heat. And Liam 53.07. We have a disqualification in Heat 1. Lane 3 disqualified for a stroke violation, a kick, illegal kick. Heat 2. In lane 2, Luca Gissendaner of Cal. Lane 3, Drew Heck of Pittsburgh. Lane 4, Sean Swift is a scratch. Lane 6, Max Schroyer of Minnesota. And lane 7, David Abrams of Harvard. So leading this scratch fest home here is Max. And a nice 55.91. Nice time drop for Max. Now Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 for Arizona, Trey Mungia. Lane 2 for Cal, Colby Hatton. In lane 3, Hobby Hover of Pittsburgh. Lane 4, Ryan Foote, Arizona. Lane 5, Jacob Soderlund of Cal. In lane 6, Neil Simpson of Minnesota. Lane 7, Drew Kistler, Minnesota. And lane 8, Drew Kalin, Minnesota. This is the first of our circle seeded heats here. Ryan Foote of Arizona in the lead. He's got a B cut posted already. Challenged by Jacob Soderlund. And it is Ryan, 52.71. Pair of 53s for Jacob and his teammate Colby in lane 2. Heat 4. In Heat 4, swimming in lane 1 from Harvard, Alex Petty. Lane 2, Ryan Purdy of Arizona. Lane 3, Jake Hand, Arizona. And lane 4, another Wildcat, Daniel Young. In lane 5, from Arizona, Tavner Pizda Wisdom. In lane 6 from Arizona, Mitchell Oliver. And in lane 7, also from Arizona, Brian Wong. And in lane 8, from Minnesota, Josh Johnston. And kind of a surprise, Arizona 1-2. Pair of mid-53s with Daniel Young and Wisdom Tavner. Heat 5. In lane 1 for Ball State, Aiden Biddle. Lane 2 is Nick Short of Pittsburgh. Lane 3, Joe Rudd, Minnesota. Lane 4, our top seed from Ball State, senior Joey Garberick. In lane 5, Jerry Chen of Pittsburgh. Lane 6, Matthew Jensen of California. In lane 7, also from Cal, Hank Rivers. And in lane 8, from Arizona, Tate Bati. Matthew Jensen and Joey Gerberick. And Joey powers the last 10 yards in, 52.75. That improves on his B cut by a 10th. And here are some qualifiers for you. In the men's 200-yard freestyle, second alternate, Jackson Brown. First alternate, Wesley Kephart. Qualifying into the C final in 24th, Michael McGillivray. 23rd, Tristan Dalby. 22nd, Malcolm Slater. Tied for 20th, Grant Wadney and Dominic Toledo Sanchez. Qualifying 19th, Jack Meehan. 18th, Guy Frimis. 17th, Anders Eisters. Qualifying into the B final, Tyler Hansen. 15, Shane Washert. 14, Dylan Hawk. 13, Harris Durham. 12th, Aaron Shackle. 11th, Marcus Holmquist. 10th, Miles Batai. And 9th, Bar Solovicek. Qualifying into the A final. In 8th, David Greeley. 7, Keaton Jones. 6th, Trent Franzen. 5th, Ben Littlejohn. 4th, Orion Henderson. 3rd, Gabriel Jett. 2nd, Jack Alexi. And our top qualifier with a time of 1:33.81 from Cal, Robin Hansen. Official meet time is 11:33, and this event will close at 12:03. We also have the qualifiers for the women's 100-yard breaststroke. Qualifying 23rd into the C final, Summer Schmidt. 22nd, Sydney Gruskavich. 21st, Nadia Borari. 20th, Jayla Pinka. 19, Maddie London. 18, Alexandra Denisenko. And 17th, Emma Kinsey. Qualifying into the B final in 16th, Ava Goodnow. 15, Stephanie Iacani. 14, Hannah Cornish. 13, Victoria Eisenhower. 12, Ava Gustafson. 11, Angelina Messina. 10th, Caroline Kramer. 9th, Eleni Gewalt. Qualifying 8th into the A final, Abigail Herskew. 7, Laura Wright. 6, Jessie Strong. 5th, Kelsey Wasikowski. 4th, Maddie Alawalia. 3rd, Hannah Brenzel. 2nd, Jade Nesser. And our top qualifier with a time of 59.86 from Cal, Alicia Henry. Official meet time is 11:35. This event closes at 12:05. And now we move on to the backstroke, women's 100-yard back. Heat 1. Swimming in lane 3 from Cal, Annika McEnroe. In lane 4 from Pitt, Olivia Livingston. In 5 from Ball State, Peyton Kelly. And 6 from Harvard, Abigail Carr. And a nice 53.99 for Annika McEnroe. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 1, Blythe Wakewick, Harvard. Lane 2, Addie Rose Bullock of Harvard. Lane 3, Faith Johnson of Minnesota. Lane 5, Paula Rodriguez Rivero of Minnesota. Lane 6, Abby Duncan of Pittsburgh. Lane 7, Kate Haslett of Harvard. And lane 8, Natalie Whalen of Harvard. This is the first of our circle-seated heats. And Paula Rodriguez Rivero of Minnesota, senior co-captain Paula, 53:35. Her best time of the year by almost a second. E3. Swimming in lane 1 for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, Morgan Thomas. Lane 2 for California, Isabella Riley. In lane 3 for Hamlin, Molly Hamlin. Swimming for Harvard is Molly Hamlin. In lane 4 for Pittsburgh, Claire Jensen. Lane 5 for Arizona, Paige Armstrong. In lane 6 for Minnesota, Ava Yablonsky. Lane 7 for Cal, Daniela Coswell. And in lane 8 for Harvard, Victoria Eisenhower. And a nice 52.76 for Claire Jensen. Her best time by about 8/10. Heat 4. In lane 1 for California, Jessica Davis. In lane 2, her teammate Ella Mazurek. In lane 3 for Arizona, Mia Magdalena Harston Scarda. In lane 4, member of the U.S. national team, Cal senior Isabel Stadden. In lane 5 for Harvard, Anya Mostek. Lane 6 for Minnesota, Elizabeth Jacobs. In lane 7 for Minnesota, Indy Jongman. And in lane 8, one more Golden Gopher, Brigitta Neverman. And Isabel, 51.67. She drops her seed time, or her best time of the season, by a second. Here are the qualifiers for the men's 100-yard breaststroke. Second alternate is Neil Simpson. First alternate, Brian Wong, qualifying into the C final. In 24th, Max Schreier. 23rd, Drew Kistler. 22nd, Javi Hover. 21st, Josh Johnston. 20th, Drew Kalin. 19, Alex Petty. 18, Aiden Biddle. And 17, Jake Hand. Qualifying into the B final. In 16th, Nick Short. 15, Trey Mungia. 14, Tate Bati. 13, Mitchell Oliver. 12, Joe Rudd. 11, Colby Hatton. 10, Jerry Chen. And 9, Ryan Purdy. Qualifying for the A final. In 8th, Tavner Wisdom. 7th, Daniel Young. 6, Hank Rivers. 5th, Jacob Soderlund. 4th, Liam Bell. 3rd, Matthew Jensen. 2nd, Joey Garberick. And our top qualifier in the men's 100 breast with a qualifying time of 52.71 from Arizona, Ryan Foote. Official meet time is 11:43. And this event will close at 12:13. Ready now for the men's 100-yard backstroke. We have 5 heats. Heat 1. In lane 3 from Minnesota, Matt McDonald. Lane 4 for Pittsburgh, Drew Jalberg. And in lane 5 for Minnesota, Tommy McCarthy. And a pair of 48s for Matt and Drew. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 2 for Minnesota, Lavros Serdarevic. In lane 4 for Harvard, David Schmidt. Lane 5 for Cal, Tommy Roeder. In lane 6 for Cal, Bjorn Seeliger. Lane 7 for Cal, Tavis Siebert. And lane 8 for Harvard, Nicola Hench. Kind of a shock, Bjorn Seeliger leading at the 50. Bjorn was 10th in this event at the NCAAs here last year. Clearly on cruise, 47.63. E3. Swimming in lane 1 for Pittsburgh, Paul Lero. In lane 2 for Cal, Ziad Salim. In lane 3 for Minnesota, Davide Maria Harabagiu. In lane 4 for Cal, Destin Lasco. Lane 5 for Minnesota, Casey Stowe. Lane 6 for Arizona, Jack Donovan. And in lane 8 for Arizona, Beck Parnham. and Destin Lasco. Nice 44.91. Heat 4. In lane 1 for Minnesota, Luke Leonidas. In lane 2 for Arizona, Will Myers. In lane 3 for Arizona, Ryan Hardy. Lane 4 for Pittsburgh, Marcin Goraj. Lane 5 for Pittsburgh, Stepan Goncharov. Lane 6 for Minnesota, Des Sakchen. Lane 7 for Pittsburgh, Jensen Nelson. And lane 8 for Pittsburgh, Eric Camden. And a 46.97 for Jensen. I'm sorry, Stepan. And then a flock of 47s. Heat 5. In lane 1, Kai Cruz of California. Lane 2 is teammate Keaton Jones. In lane 3 from Harvard, Gunnar Grant. In lane 4 is our top seed from Pittsburgh, Krzysztof Radoszewski. In lane 5 from Arizona, Ogi Marek. Lane 6 from California, Colby Mefford. Lane 7 from Cal, Humberto Nayera. And lane 5 from Minnesota, Ian Steffen. And Harvard's Gunnar Grant throws down a 46.2. Taking 1.9 off of his seed time, best time of the year. Here are the qualifiers for the women's 100 backstroke. Our second alternate is Natalie Whalen. First alternate, Victoria Eisenhower. Qualifying into the C final in 24th, Molly Hamlin. 23rd, Brigitte Neverman. 22nd, Abby Duncan. 21st, Blythe Wyklowek. 20th, Morgan Thomas. 19, Kate Haslett. 18, Peyton Kelly. 17, Elizabeth Jacobs. Qualifying into the B final, Addie Rose Bullock in 16. 15th, Ella Mazurek. 14th, Magdalena Mia Hogston Skarda. 13th, Indy Jongman. 12th, Jessica Davis. 11th, Isabella Riley. 10th, Faith Johnson. 9th, Daniela Cogswell. Qualifying into the A final in 8th, Abigail Carr. 7th, Ava Yablonsky. 6th, Annika McEnroe. 5th, Paige Armstrong. 4th, Paula Rodriguez Roletto. 3rd, Claire Jansen. 2nd, Anya Mostek. And our top qualifier with a B cut, of course, and a time dangerously close to the A cut, 51.67. Cal senior Isabel Stadden. Official meet time is 11:53. This event will close at 12:23. Here are the qualifiers in the men's 100-yard backstroke. Second alternate is Jensen Nelson. First alternate, Tommy McCarthy. Qualifying into the C final, 24th, Des Sakchen. 23rd, Drew Jalbert. 22nd, Ian Steffen. 21st, Beck Parnham. 20th, Matt McDonald. 19, David Schmidt. 18, Tommy Roeder. And 17, Jack Donovan. Qualifying into the B final, in 16th, Colby Mefford. 15th, Davide Maria Harabaggio. 14th, Casey Stowe. 13, Keaton Jones. Tied for 11, Bjorn Seeliger and Huberto Nayera. Qualifying 10th, Ryan Hardy. And 9th, Ogie Marek. Qualifying into the A final, in 8th, Will Myers. 7th, Marcin Garage. 6th, Kai Cruz. 5th, Stepan Goncharov. 4th, Ziad Salim. 3rd, Christoph Radoshevsky. 2nd, Gunnar Grant. And our top qualifier with a time of 44.91 from Cal, Destin Lasco. Official meet time is 11:55. This event will close at 12:35. We will begin time trials at noon o'clock. Our first time trial is a 100-yard butterfly. Hakan Naughton of Arizona in lane 5. Hakan swam locally here at Riptide. He holds the 15 to 18 age group and the Minnesota senior record in this event. $21.71 out. And 46.37. Next up, also in lane 5, swimming a 200-yard butterfly, Harvard's Noah Bruni. In the previous heat, Hawkins' time of 46 and change was a B cut. B cut for the 200 fly that Noah's chasing is a 1:45.89. $1:48.56 for Noah. And now a 50-yard freestyle in lane 5, Arizona's Ralph Dalyadin Kirafuri. The B cut that we're chasing here is a 1979, and there it is, 1953, a B cut for Ralph. And that concludes our prelim session here this morning. Wish everybody a good nap. And we'll see you back here for finals for tonight's events at 6 p.m. So safe travels, everybody. We'll look forward to seeing you a little later tonight for finals of day 3.